This morning on Up with KREM, we are taking the show on the road. I am live in Spokane at one of the new middle schools. I'll be breaking down the new names that were just approved last night.
I'm obviously very excited because we're at Silverwood, just hopped off of Tremors. We're riding the brand new roller coaster Stunt Pilot. What more can I say?
We're heading into Memorial Day weekend, and I've got your Memorial Day weekend forecast. We're also out here at Silverwood Theme Park. We're riding the old favorites, checking out some of the new attractions. We'll be here all morning long.
Up with KREM begins now.
Hey there, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday morning here on Up with KREM on the CW22. Gosh, a beautiful day here in the Inland Northwest. Also a historic day. That's why we are taking the show on the road. I'm on site at one of the brand new locations of one of the new middle schools that received their new name last night. The school board made that official last night, and so we're going to be telling you about that coming up a little bit later in the show. But we do have team coverage all over the Inland Northwest, from Spokane all the way to North Idaho, and so we're going to get to that. But we do have Dana Marie McNichol in the studio who's holding it down for us. Dana Marie, what's coming up?
Well, good morning, everyone. We do have Nicole joining us from one of those other locations, and Jeremy Legoo, Brennan T. Jones. They're live at Silverwood. Very exciting. We're going to get a preview of some of those fun attractions ahead of the weekend. And just in time for Memorial Day, they are launching a brand new roller coaster. The Stunt Pilot opens Saturday. Brandon and Jeremy are going to get a sneak peek at that this morning. Boulder Beach is also open on Saturday. And we're going to check back with them in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's head back to Tim. He's going to tell us exactly what the Spokane Public Schools decided to name their newest middle school.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Good morning, Dana Marie. So as I was saying, I'm in Northwest Spokane this morning. This site behind me is where the new middle school will be. So it's kind of just an empty dirt lot right now, but you can imagine it is just going to be beautiful. So the construction will actually start this summer. And to give you some perspective where we're at, we're not far from Joe Albies Stadium. So this new school's name will be Pauline Flett Middle School. That was just approved last night by the school board. The school board, though, received hundreds of submissions for names since February, and last night they picked names from the 9 finalists that were narrowed down. Now, this is the first time ever that the school district has named 4 schools at once, a historic day, as we've been saying. All submissions had to be a person or a person who made a noteworthy contribution to education, community, or our society. So let's talk about the name Pauline Flett. Pauline Flett, you may recognize her name. If you're new to the area, you might be wondering, who is she? So we're going to be telling you about who she is. Pauline Flett was someone who made a big difference in our region. Pauline Flett was an elder with the Spokane tribe, and she played a key role in preserving the tribe's Salish dialect. Now, get this, she also wrote Spokane's first Spokane's English dictionary. Now, she also taught language at EWU, and her notes are now collections at the Smithsonian Institution. Pauline did pass away last year at the age of 93. She's still remembered as one of the most influential members of the Spokane tribe, but again, because of this new naming, her legacy will continue to live on here at the school. Now, SPS also chose a name for the Northeast Middle Schools, which is on Foothills. Nicole Hernandez joining us now to explain what the new name of that school is. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. So the new Northeast Middle School is going to be for the Logan neighborhood up here in North Spokane. You can see the construction site right behind me, all that fencing up, all of those big tractors and construction cars, of course, all behind me working to get this middle school going. But this all is from a bond from 2018. So this district is building this money with that same bond that Tim mentioned. So like the other schools, it is set to open in August of 2022. As for the name, what you guys are all listening for, of course, one of the board's unanimous decisions was to name it after a renowned Spokane civil rights activist, Denny Yasuhara. According to the Spokane Historical Society, one of Denny's most significant accomplishments was creating a program to provide low-income housing to elderly Japanese Americans. Because of his civil rights work in Eastern Washington, WSU founded an Asian American Studies program. Here in Spokane, Denny was a teacher with Spokane Public Schools. He taught at both Logan Elementary and Gary Middle School. An article from Spokane Historical credits this quote to him. He said, quote, "The greatest gift that one human being can give to another is not their wealth or their position, but their honor and dignity, for that is the essence of freedom." Very inspiring there. And of course, as soon as this school gets built, you will see Denny's name right on top of it. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Wonderful. Nicole, thank you so much for explaining that. Great to see the legacy that these people are leaving behind and will continue to happen and live on in our community. So we told you that there were 3 middle schools receiving names. One of them is South Middle School. So this is actually named after Carla Pepperzak, and we're going to be explaining who she is, her legacy, coming up at 7:30. And then we'll also talk about the On Track Academy, also adding their principal's name. So now it will be Lisa Matson On Track Academy. So a lot to talk about. Also something to look forward to coming up at 8:15. Associate Superintendent Dr. Mark Anderson is going to be joining us on Up with KREM to be talking a bit more about this historic decision about naming these schools and what it means to our community. So a lot going on here, a historic day here in the Inland Northwest. So let's send things back to Dana Marie McNichol in the studio now for a look at what else is going on. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning, Tim. We'll check back with you in just a bit, but for right now, we know that it's going to be a beautiful weekend to be out at Silverwood, and the park is going all out for the holiday. Jeremy Legoo, Brandon Jones, they're live right now. They've ridden roller coasters already. They've hung out at Boulder Beach. What's going on? Why should we head over? Because Jeremy, I think it's going to be the 80s or even 90s, right?
Yeah, 80s and 90s all weekend long. If that's not a great reason to head out. Brandon, what do you think? As someone who isn't the biggest fan of the adrenaline that comes from a roller coaster, do you think people should come out and do this?
I definitely think you should come out because it signals the start of summer. We just got off of Tremors not too long ago. I had a great time on there. I was nervous for that, but now we're standing in front of Panic Plunge. I was ready for this. I was actually ready. I came over here and I was excited. Let's get on it, you know. But I've had a couple of people who have psyched me out at this point. Nate behind the camera, he's like, this is the scariest one. I don't know about that. Jordan also told me that, you know, it's just a complete drop, and now I really don't know. I don't want to let Jeremy go up there by himself, but I might have to, honestly.
I'll let you think about it. No pressure, but I'm not doing it alone. It's a 100-foot drop. You go 42 miles an hour. You come crashing down toward the ground, and right before you hit the ground, I'm assuming, is it magnets that stops it? Yeah, magnets. You know when you're trying to push 2 magnets together and you can't? Safety.
Safety.
Nothing but. All right, so let's get you out the door and let you know what to expect today, because we've got a rather beautiful day in store if you're a meteorologist. If you're a normal person, you're probably going to go, what is this man talking about? Early on this morning, we're already starting to build in some high atmospheric clouds. You're going to find some blue sky if you start looking around, but if you know what you're looking for, the signs of a change are all around us. And those temperatures, well, those temperatures will start to rise. And in fact, they're going to continue to rise as we move through the day, even as wind picks up across the inland northwest. We'll see wind gusts up near 25, even 35 miles per hour later on today. And that wind comes as we start to see our cold front move in. The storm itself sits off the coast as we speak, but it is going to start moving in. And as that cold front sweeps the state of Washington, we'll start to see more and more shower activity. Now, is it overly widespread? Is it a full-on rainstorm? Probably not. We'll see scattered showers later this afternoon. 1:30, 2 o'clock, those will start to move in, then quickly start moving out. Not everybody gets to see those showers, and if you do, we're talking 1/10 of an inch of rain, kind of max in places like Spokane, maybe up to 2/10 if you're in some of those higher elevation areas. When it comes to our weather today, well, it's temps on the rise. We'll be up in the low 70s in Spokane. The chance of a couple scattered showers and that wind. Remember, the wind is going to be a bit stronger later on today, but it's all about the weekend forecast. After all, it's a holiday weekend. We got nothing but sunshine, a lack of wind, and temps on the rise. 70s and 80s all weekend, even 90s by the middle of next week. So Brandon, when it comes to that, you get out here, you get on the scaries, you face your fear, and you just make it happen.
Well, you heard the man. We'll talk about the weather, right? It's going to be perfect weather. Boulder Beach is opening up for the first time right in time for Memorial Day weekend. Perfect weather, so come out, enjoy the water park. And then also, there's an awesome new roller coaster that is opening up this weekend. It's called Stunt Pilot. This is the first roller coaster that's opened up here at Silverwood in a decade. We're going to be checking that out, me and Jeremy, around 9 a.m. We told you already that we hopped on Tremors, went around twice on Tremors. I had a great time. I had to hold my hat down. Dana Marie was making fun of me, but this has been a great morning. I'm so happy that I actually came out here. You heard Jeremy though. I really don't know. I'm at this point. I'm a little shooketh by this panic plunge.
That's 120 feet.
He's talking about facing the fears, but within the next 10 minutes or so, we should have a final answer for you, whether or not I'm going to hop on there. But for right now, I guess I'll toss it back into the studio, and you'll just have to stay tuned to see if we do it.
Brandon, it has the word panic in it, so I would not blame you if you don't want to go up there. That seems a little bit terrifying to me. Thank you for great television.
Have you ever
I know
done it
you're being
before?
such a good sport. No, I've never done it. All right, we're taking a look at Morning Rush 7-Eleven now on your Thursday. More news in less time. After more than a century, Avista has sold the historic steam plant to a developer. The company said it sold the property to Gerald Dicker of CVD Commercial Properties. No word yet on what they plan to do with the iconic building. It was built back in 1916. Avista just recently renovated the historic building in 2017. A father-son pair from Battleground, Washington State have been charged entering the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th riot. Jeremy Grace is charged with unlawful entry into a restricted building, disorderly conduct in a restricted building, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, and also picketing at that Capitol building. Grace's father, Jeff Grace, was arrested on February 2nd after appearing in the background of a widely circulated photo of another man carrying House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's lectern through the rotunda. If you're headed to the popular Memorial Day spot in McCall, Idaho this weekend, here's what you need to know. The city is asking visitors to follow the guidelines they're calling the McCall Promise. The initiative asks people to brake for pedestrians, bikes, and deer, don't stray away from popular trails, and tip your servers. Also, drown your campfire. And whoever marries this one lucky guy is a lucky gal. Christian Leiden from Poulsbo, Washington, has been in the process of making an engagement ring for his future wife for the past 5 years. He got the idea back in 8th grade. He dreamed of creating a special ring for his future wife with stones and gold he mined himself. He traveled all the way to Arkansas from Washington to mine for a diamond, where he found a 2.2 carat stone. Well, that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media. Now, to keep students from returning without vaccines in the fall, Eastern Washington is offering some different incentives. So after the break, if you know an Eastern student, let them know they could win free tuition and many more things. I'll explain all of that coming up.